Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear will change the way you walk into every room for the rest of your life. There was a moment somewhere in your past when you decided that other people were taller than you, not in height, but in worth. You looked at their voices, their titles, their confidence, and something inside you quietly bowed. You never even noticed it happening. No one ever does. That bow slowly became your posture. That posture became your personality, and without realizing it, you started living as a guest inside your own life. Today, that ends. Today you wake up, open your eyes and look around. Every person you have ever feared is made of the same fragile material as you. The same bones, the same doubts, the same trembling heart hidden behind a steady face. The men you placed on pedestals built those pedestals themselves, and you simply helped carry the bricks. Stop carrying them, stop kneeling, stop apologizing for the space your shadow takes on the ground. The world does not reward the humble in the way you think. It studies them, measures their softness, and feeds on it. Machiavelli understood this 5 centuries ago, and nothing has changed. Power moves toward the one who refuses to shrink. Not the loudest, not the cruelest, but the one who simply will not bend. So make a vow right now. In the silence between these words, vow that no human being will ever again make you feel small without your permission. Vow that your spine belongs only to you. Vow that the era of bowing is over, because the moment you stop believing anyone is above you, the universe quietly starts rewriting your name, and it begins to call you something it has never called you before. It begins, music, to call you dangerous. The illusion of superiors. Here is a truth no one taught you in school, because schools were not built to free you. They were built to rank you. From the moment you could walk, someone was placing you on a ladder. Smarter children above, richer families above, louder voices above, and you somewhere in the middle, learning to look up. That ladder was a lie. It was painted on the wall. There is no one above you. There never was. The men in expensive suits bleed when they are cut. The women with perfect smiles cry into pillows you will never see. The bosses who make you nervous rehearse their speeches in bathroom mirrors like frightened boys. Strip away the costume, and every human being is the same trembling animal trying to survive the night. The illusion of superiors is the oldest trick power has ever played on the obedient, because the moment you believe someone is better than you hand them your weapons. Your voice softens, your eyes drop, your decisions wait for their approval, and they do not even have to ask. You give it freely. Machiavelli wrote that men are governed more by imagination than by reality, and your imagination has been governed by ghosts. Ghosts of teachers, ghosts of fathers, ghosts of every face that ever made you feel ordinary. Burn the ghosts, burn the ladder, burn the painted wall. Look around the room the next time you feel small and remind yourself that every god in that room is wearing a mask, and underneath the mask is a man, and underneath the man is fear, and underneath the fear is something that looks exactly like you. The difference between you and them was never talent. It was never blood. It was only this. They stopped believing the lie first, the mask of equality. Now that you have seen through the illusion, you must learn what to wear in its place. Because walking into the world stripped of belief is dangerous. You need armor, and the finest armor ever forged is the mask of calm equality. This mask does not shout, it does not boast, it does not announce that you are no longer afraid. It simply walks into a room and treats every soul inside it as if they are standing on the same ground as you. The billionaire, the beggar, the boss, the stranger, you meet them all with the same steady eyes, the same unhurried voice, the same quiet smile that gives nothing away. This is not arrogance. Arrogance is loud, and loud men are easily broken. This is something deeper. This is the silent confidence of a man who has already decided his worth and no longer needs the world to confirm it. When you wear this mask, something strange begins to happen. People start leaning toward you. They cannot explain it. They feel a gravity around you they do not understand. Powerful men suddenly want your approval. Beautiful women suddenly notice the room you entered. Enemies hesitate before they speak because the human animal is wired to follow whoever seems unbothered, unimpressed, untouchable. Machiavelli knew this. He wrote that a prince must appear merciful, faithful, and humane while remaining ready to be the opposite when necessary. The mask is not dishonesty. The mask is strategy. The mask is the difference between the man who is used and the man who decides. So practice it in mirrors, in meetings, in moments when your old self wants to shrink. Wear it until the mask and your face become one inseparable identity. Silence as a weapon. Most men talk themselves into chains. They explain. They justify. They fill every silence with nervous noise, hoping their words will buy them safety. They never realize that every sentence they speak is a key handed to their enemies. From now on, you will speak less, much less. And when you do speak, your words will land like stones dropped into still water. Silence is the first weapon of the dangerous man. Silence makes others uncomfortable, and uncomfortable people reveal themselves. Ask a question, then say nothing. Watch how the other person rushes to fill the empty space. Watch how they confess things they never planned to confess. Watch how they negotiate against themselves while you simply breathe. You have done nothing, and yet you have already won. Silence also protects you. The man who does not explain himself cannot be misquoted. The man who does not boast cannot be measured. The man who does not complain cannot be pitied. And pity, my friend, is the slow poison that kills respect. When someone insults you, do not answer immediately. Let the silence stretch until it becomes uncomfortable for them, not you. Let them hear their own words, echo back into their own mind. Most insults die from embarrassment when no one feeds them. Machiavelli understood that the appearance of mystery is more powerful than the reality of strength. A man who is fully known is a man who is fully predicted, and a predicted man is already defeated. So become unreadable. Speak in fewer words than the moment demands. Smile without explanation. Disagree without debate. Leave rooms without long goodbyes. Let people wonder what you are thinking, because the moment they wonder, they are already giving you attention. And attention is the raw material from which all power is built. The death of approval. There is a hunger inside you that has consumed more of your life than any enemy ever could. The hunger to be liked, the hunger to be understood, the hunger to be approved by people whose opinions will not matter on the day you die. This hunger must die before you can live. Look back honestly at the choices you have made. The job you took to impress someone who has already forgotten your name. The opinions you swallowed to maintain a peace that was never real. The smile you forced for a room that would have laughed at your funeral. Every one of those moments was a small surrender, and small surrenders accumulate into a stolen life. The man who needs approval is a puppet, and the strings are held by everyone who knows how to pull them. Cut the strings, cut them today. Decide that the opinions of others are weather, not commandments. Lucky men are envied. Disciplined men are feared. And while the world sleeps in comfort and complaint, you will be quietly assembling a version of yourself that cannot be bribed by pleasure, cannot be seduced by flattery, cannot be shaken by loss, cannot be bought by money, and cannot be distracted by the soft hands of an easy life. This is the man who walks into rooms and silences them without speaking. This is the man who looks into the eyes of power and does not blink. This is you 6 months from now. If you choose cold discipline today and refuse to let it go, no matter how loudly the weaker version of you begs for just one more day of softness. Strategic distance. There is a lesson the world will never teach you openly because the world profits from your closeness. The lesson is this: your presence is currency, and you have been spending it like a drunk man throwing gold into a crowd. You answer every call, you attend every gathering, you give your time, your energy, your secrets, your laughter, your loyalty to anyone who asks, and then you wonder why you feel hollow at the end of each week. That hollowness is not a mystery, it is a receipt. You have been giving pieces of yourself to people who would not cross the street to save you. That ends now. From this day forward, you will practice the art of strategic distance, not coldness for the sake of cruelty, not isolation for the sake of pride. Distance for the sake of value, because everything rare is treasured and everything constant is ignored. The sun is worshipped because it rises and sets. Imagine if it stayed in the sky forever. Within a week, men would curse it. You are no different. When you are always available, you become the sun that never sets, and people stop looking up. Disappear sometimes, not dramatically, not with announcements, simply withdraw. Let your phone go unanswered for hours. Let invitations pass without explanation. Let entire days exist where no one knows where you are or what you are doing. Watch how the energy around you shifts. Watch how the same people who once took you for granted suddenly remember your name with a different kind of respect. Watch how your absence does the work your presence could never do. Machiavelli warned that familiarity breeds contempt, and he was being polite. Familiarity does not just breed contempt, it breeds invisibility. And invisible men have no power, no matter how loudly they speak. So choose your closeness with the seriousness of a king choosing his guards. Most people do not deserve the inside of your life. They deserve the lobby, a polite smile, a controlled handshake, a short conversation that never deepens. The inside rooms of your life are reserved for the rare few who have proven through time and pressure that they can hold what is given without breaking it or misusing it. Everyone else stays in the lobby, and the lobby stays clean. This applies to family, to friends, to lovers. Blood does not grant access. History does not grant access. Only character grants access, and character is rare. Be generous with your kindness, but ration your closeness like a man rationing water in a desert. And here is the secret inside the secret. The more distance you keep, the more powerful your presence becomes when you finally appear. Your words land harder, your praise carries weight, your anger becomes feared, your laughter becomes a reward. You stop being a person people casually consume and start becoming an event they prepare for. People begin to ready themselves before seeing you, the way they prepare before entering something sacred. That is not arrogance, that is gravity. And gravity belongs to the man who understands that his presence is not a public resource, but a private asset reserved only for those who have earned it, and withheld without apology from those who have not. The untouchable man. Now we arrive at the figure all of this has been building toward. The untouchable man. Not a fantasy, not a character from a film, a real flesh and blood human being who walks the same streets as everyone else, breathes the same air, eats the same food, and yet operates on an entirely different frequency. You have met him once or twice in your life, and you remember it. He did not speak much. He did not need to. The room adjusted itself around him without permission. Conversations lowered when he passed. Eyes followed him without explanation. He was not the loudest, not the richest, not even the most outwardly impressive. He was simply untouchable, and everyone felt it before they understood it. Today, you learn what creates that state so you can become it. The untouchable man has killed 3 things inside himself, and the killing is permanent. He has killed the need to be liked, he has killed the fear of being alone, and he has killed the hope that someone is coming to save him. These 3 deaths sound like tragedy to weak minds, but they are the 3 doors through which freedom enters a man's life. Once you stop needing to be liked, no one can control you with approval. Once you stop fearing solitude, no one can imprison you with presence. Once you stop waiting for a savior, you become the savior, and the waiting ends. The untouchable man does not react. The world throws insults at him, and they collapse before reaching him. The world throws temptations at him, and he looks at them like a man already full. The world throws losses at him, and he absorbs them like the ocean absorbs a stone, with a ripple, then silence. He is not made of steel. He still bleeds. He still feels. He still grieves. But he has trained himself to feel everything in private, and to act in public with a steadiness that unsettles weaker men. He keeps his promises to himself more seriously than he keeps them to anyone else, because he knows a man who lies to himself has nothing real left to offer the world. He does not chase. He does not beg. He does not explain. When he wants something, he moves toward it with the patience of a tide. And tides cannot be argued with. When he loses something, he releases it without ceremony, because he understands that anything that can be taken from him was never truly his to begin with. Machiavelli wrote that the wise man does at once what the fool does finally, and the untouchable man lives by this without ever quoting it. He acts early, he cuts losses early, he walks away early. He does not wait for permission, for clarity, or for the perfect moment, because he has learned that the perfect moment is a story weak men tell themselves to justify their paralysis. Look in the mirror tonight and ask yourself an honest question. How much of you is still touchable? How many strings are still attached to your back? How many people still hold remote controls to your moods? Whatever the answer is, do not despair. The untouchable man was not born untouchable. He was carved slowly by his own hand out of the same trembling material you are made of right now. The chisel is in your fingers. The marble is your life. Begin the carving tonight and do not stop, no matter how many pieces of the old you fall away in the process, because everything that falls was never the real you. The real you is what remains when nothing soft is left to lose. the final command. So here we are at the end of the road we walked together, and yet this is not an ending at all. This is the doorway. Everything spoken before this moment was preparation. Everything spoken now is command. Listen with the part of you that has been waiting your entire life to be spoken to like a king instead of a servant. You were not born to apologize for existing. You were not born to soften your voice so smaller men could feel comfortable in your presence. You were not born to dim your fire so weaker souls could stand near you without feeling their own coldness. You were born to burn, and the world was built to be warmed by your burning, not to extinguish it. Anyone who has tried to extinguish you was not protecting you. They were protecting themselves from the version of you they could not control. Remember their faces, but do not hate them. Hatred is a chain, and you are done wearing chains. Simply walk past them now with the quiet certainty of a man who has somewhere more important to be, because you do. You have a life to build, and that life will not be built by the boy who used to flinch. It will be built by the man who is being born inside you as these very words enter your mind. Feel him stirring, feel his shoulders straighten, feel his jaw set, feel the old fears falling off him like dead leaves from a tree that has finally remembered it is a tree and not a bush. From this night forward, you will walk differently. You will speak less and mean more. You will choose your company like a king chooses his court. You will guard your time like a miser guards his gold. You will train your body, sharpen your mind, and silence your complaints, because complaints are the language of men who have surrendered, and you have surrendered for the last time. You will treat every room you enter as a room you own, not because you are arrogant, but because you have finally understood that confidence is not given by the world. It is taken in silence by the man who has decided he is done waiting for permission. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to act and repent than not to act and regret. And I am telling you tonight that the regret of the unlived life is the heaviest weight a human soul can carry to the grave. Do not carry it. Drop it here, in this moment, and walk forward lighter than you have ever been. The world is not against you. The world is simply indifferent, and indifference is the most generous gift the universe could give you because it means no one is stopping you. The cage was never locked. It never had a door. You were free the entire time. You only forgot. Now you remember, and remembering is the beginning of everything. So go. Go and become the man whose name is spoken with a slight pause before it is said. Go and become the man whose silence is louder than other men's speeches. Go and become the man who looks at fear the way a lion looks at grass, with no recognition that it could ever be a threat. Go and become untouchable, not for revenge, not for show, but because it is your birthright, and birthrights left unclaimed rot inside the chest of the man who refuses to claim them. Now, before you leave this moment, write a single phrase for yourself, a phrase that captures the man you are becoming tonight, something you can return to when the old softness tries to return. Make it sharp, make it yours. And if something inside you has shifted even slightly, don't waste it in silence. Act on it. Not for anyone else, but for the version of you that will have to live with what you choose next. Now close your eyes for one breath. Inhale the man you used to be and exhale him without grief. Open your eyes. The room is the same. The world is the same, but you are not. Now stand up. Walk into your life, and from this moment forward, act like no one is above you, because no one ever was. Go and become the man whose name is spoken with a slight pause before it is said. Go and become the man whose silence carries more weight than other men's speeches. Go and become the man who looks at fear the way a lion looks at grass, with no awareness that it could ever be a threat. Go and become untouchable, not for revenge, not for show, but because it is your birthright, and birthrights left unclaimed decay inside the chest of the man who refuses to claim them. Now, before you leave this moment, do one thing for me and through me for yourself. In the comments below, write a single phrase, not something you copied, not something you saw someone else say, a phrase that belongs to you, a phrase that defines the man you are becoming tonight, a phrase you can return to on the days when the old softness tries to creep back into your bones. Make it sharp, make it yours, make it a war cry that no one else in the world has ever spoken in that exact way. Write it down, and when you do, understand this, you are not writing it for me, you are writing it for the version of you who will need it 6 months from now when the world tests whether tonight was real. If this monologue moved something inside you, if it sparked even a small fire in a place that has been cold for too long, then act on it. Support this channel because there is more coming, and the man you are becoming will need every word of it. Turn on every notification, because the next time I speak, you do not want to be the last to hear it. You want to be the first. That is what untouchable men do. They arrive early, they listen carefully, they act before the herd has even understood what was said. Now close your eyes for one breath. Just one. Inhale the man you used to be and exhale him into the air. Let him go without regret because he served his purpose by bringing you to this moment. Open your eyes. The room is the same. The world is the same, but you are not. You are something the old you would not have recognized, and that is the most powerful proof that tonight was real. Now stand up, walk into your life, and from this moment forward, act like no one is above you, because no one ever was and no one ever will be. Go.